Okay, good afternoon, guys. So I sent out a Thingiverse link. I sent out two options. I would prefer you guys work on this one. This one has a little bit more detail. But what we'll be going over today is how to model the proper geometry of the face. So before we actually start modeling it ourselves, I'll be going over how to retopologize an object, and you will follow along the proper geometry to kind of get a more of a firm understanding before you start doing it yourself. For your final, you will be doing a self-portrait. So all faces are very similar. So there's pretty much not one way of making faces, but they all have very similar patterns. And it's mainly based off of the muscle behind your face. If we look at a face, you have kind of rings around your eyes, rings around your mouth, and muscles kind of going towards your lips. And what we will be doing is we will be kind of recreating that edge flow for it. And we mainly do this because it helps enhance those internal underlying structures, and when we start rigging and animating with a face, it will help deform in a more naturalistic way. So I sent out a Pinterest board, and if you just go in the 3D geometry folder, you'll see all these different edge loop kind of references, and you can notice that there's a lot of similarities between all these. There's loops around the eyes, and then there's kind of a mask around the face. There's a loops between around the lips, and then depends on how you do it. It doesn't have to be like this. Either edge loops go into the mouth, or edge loops go to the mouth, and some of them kind of wrap around the face underneath the nose. And the geometry around the nose kind of overlays itself. There's lots of different ways, but you can see in all these references, there's loops around the eyes, there's a mask, there's loops around the mouth, and so on and so forth. So what I'll be going over today is how to retopologize a face, and how to do that in Maya. So I linked off to a Sketchfab model that you can download for free. All you have to do is import it into Maya. If it's not saying that you can't import it, it's because you don't have the STL import export downloaded, installed. So all you have to do is go to Windows, Settings and Preference, Plugin Manager, and type in STL, and you need to have loaded and unloaded, auto-loaded checked. So once you have that, let's go and set a project. So File, Project Window. You can call this Retopo Face. File, set project. We tap with face, select, and just save it. To start off with. So you can notice that the geometry is all hot mess of it's just there's no organization to it. So we'll be using this as a scaffolding to retopologize on. And to do that, all we have to do is select our mesh and then click on this little magnet right here. And what that does is it makes the object live. So once again, select your mesh and click on this magnet. What? So we are downloading this model. So I sent it out earlier today. Open it up in your scene. Do you have that open up? Yeah. How do you do that? So file, import, and then you find that STL. So it's native model STL. Yeah, unzip it. Let me know when it's imported. So because it's not, you go to Windows, settings, preference, plugin manager, type in STL, click auto load, and then close, and then do it again. And then go select the mesh and then click the little magnet up top right here. All right, so once you do that, that makes your object live, and what that means is that whatever you do, things will start like snapping towards that object. So you can see that if I go and create a cube and I move my cube, it's going to snap to this object, to the face of the object. So what we want to do now is go over to the modeling toolkit, which is on the right side. I think if you don't see it, it's at the top under Maya Classic or Windows Modeling Editor Modeling Toolkit. And you'll see a bunch of like buttons and assets. And we'll be using mainly this quad draw. And quad draw allows you to create a new object on top of another object. So when we click on it, what it's doing is we're going to be creating dots on our object. So first what I'll be doing is I will go towards the eye and create 4 dots. And then I'll hold shift And when I hold shift and go in between four dots, a green box will appear, and if I left click inside of it, it will create a new box. So this is a new geometry, and it snaps to our mesh. We can adjust this mesh by left clicking a corner, a vertice, and moving that around. We can hold an edge and move an edge around, or we can hold down a face and move that face around. And what we want to do is now create a ring around the eyes. So I will create 2 more dots, hold shift, and I will create another box. So now I have a ring around the eye, and if you want to add more edges in it, you can hold down Control, and you can see that a green line will appear. And this is similar to the multi-cut tool, adding an edge loop. All you'd have to do is hold down Control and click, and an edge will appear. If you want to delete a face, you can hover over the face, press backspace, and if you want to merge faces together, all you have to do is move vertices or edges, and they will snap together. Is there any questions so far? Okay. So this is the basics of retopologizing a model. It's just redrawing a new mesh on top of another mesh. So what I will do is I will kind of explain how to do a proper edge loops for the face, what to kind of look out for, and whatnot. So first, normally when I make a face, I kind of start with the eyes. I will create loops around the eyes. What I want to make sure is that I have an edge at the the middle part of the crease, so right here and here. Mainly because when you close your eyes and open up your eyes, you kind of want this to be not move too much. So this is where you'll have a crease in your eye. And then the top and bottom, they don't have to be the same. You can have more on the top, more than the bottom. Just keep it kind of unified. I might have made a few too many boxes to start off with. You kind of want to work big, as big as possible when you first start out. So I'm going to go and delete some of these and reposition them. So next, what I want to do is I want to just continue on the loops of the eyes. I kind of want to match some of the geometry, the landmarks. So I want to keep edge loops kind of around these bags. So you can see how there's a bag right here, a bag right here. So I will kind of make sure that my loops kind of flow with these shapes of the eye. You can see how there's a crease right here, so I will hold down Control and add another edge loop, and I'll adjust these edges to kind of match up with each other. If you hold down Shift and left click, it will kind of average out your faces. It kind of helps like smooth things out if you didn't get them completely. It kind of makes your faces somewhat uniform. It's good in certain situations. And next I will kind of just like maybe go down to the mouth, and I'm trying to hit these like major features in the face. Circles around the eyes, circles around the mouth. So right here's the lip. And now I'm going to make it kind of a loop from one of the bottom little eyes and down and underneath the nose. So I'll kind of hug around the nostrils. And go right here. I will then go over the nose. And I want to make sure that my edge loop is following along this like cheek, because you can see that I can make a good like hard crease by following along my geometry right around here. You can see that they do the same thing in this, and it kind of goes right here. Feel free to have one of these images open while you're working on your face. To give you kind of a guide. So you can see at this moment, I'm starting to get like a larger box right around here, if I was trying to go up right here. And this is where we will need to start splitting and creating a five-sided star. You can see that right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to reduce these as much as possible because they kind of make a weird like look when we subdivide subdivide our model. So when we press 3 on them. But normally you have those stars in hard places. So normally like the temple, right around like underneath the cheek, where like kind of where it like is at the highest point. So you can see right here is this a spot. Temple is another spot up over here. Where your eyebrow kind of starts is another good spot. But if, let's say you work on this and save and you have to close your Maya and open back up. When you open it back up, your face won't be live again. So if you go and think, oh, this is fine, you select your mesh and go to modeling toolkit and do quad draw, and it doesn't turn blue. It's not working properly, so you have to make sure that your object that you want to draw on top is live. So once you click on it and then click on your mesh and go back to quad draw, it will be blue. Blue is when you know it's working properly. So the same thing with your mouth as is your eyes. You kind of want to have that side, this one right here, like at the corner of your mouth, just because when you open up your mouth and close it, you don't want it to move as much. So you can see how I just deleted a box and added another one because I wanted another edge loop, because what I want to do is have this loop wrap around the entire face. So the idea will be it makes a mask. So I need an extra edge loop to go into the eye to allow myself to have this loop wrap around the head completely. And you can go back and forth, turn off the reference model, press, look at your actual geometry. So you can see that if I do this, I have a loop right here. And if I do this, I'll have a loop that goes around and does the mask around the face. Similar to this one right here, you can see how you can follow this loop around and it goes completely around the face. We can change the color. To help show what I'm trying to do. So this is the idea. If you notice that as you're creating your model and you are in the modeling toolkit and in Quadra and you press to create a model and it takes a long time, it might just because there's a lot of history on it, and going and deleting the history right here, or mesh, delete by type, history, will help improve the speed of creating geometry for it. So normally I kind of think that like the edge flow that kind of goes over your nose right before your nostril will kind of come and flow to the side of your head. So you can kind of follow this right here. So the idea, I will like have this kind of continue through. And if you hold down B, you'll have the soft select brush selected, and if you hold down B and left drag and right drag, you can increase or decrease it, and you can like smooth out larger areas with the soft select brush on. And you can see the chin right here. I'm just following along with the natural flow of the geometry. So you can see right here I have the 5 side, it's at the temple, and the head is pretty much like a box. You have to kind of try and explain that a little bit better. So you have to go to Dropbox. So if you make it not live, select it. And then go to object mode. So just select front row, which is object mode. Yep, one over. Now go into create a layer. Yep, one over. Now if you go do the project. So let's say this is the basic part of your face. This is the front of your face, or the side of your face. And as we start adding more geometry to it, you'll have this point right here where it's just like this right here is like the side of your head. You can add more edge loops and adjust it around a little bit more, but it's pretty much just a box that's shaped a little bit more organically. So when you get past like adding all the detail to the face, the side and the back is pretty much just a box. So you're just filling this out and wrapping it around right here. You'll have this pretty much this shape right here. This is like will be where the top and the side and the front face kind of forms from. Now the nose is kind of interesting. The nostril is pretty much just like an extrusion out, out from the head. So a lot of times when we have our face, let's say this is just the nose. You would think you kind of, like dig it in from like underneath here, but really it's just like something that it's kind of coming just out and off of kind of the face. From the side, a lot of times I'll then go and like merge and the nostril is just extruded like straight. In right here. So when we're retopologizing, just kind of think of it in that manner. I'm going to have the center of the nose, and it's going to come up history. I'm going to delete the history. It should the center line should kind of come through, but this nostril right here is kind of just like an extrusion in. So all I have to do is take this and create a circle. So if I hold down Control, I can add a circle inside of here. And there's no like true like proper like nose topology. I kind of would prefer to have an edge loop that goes like this and wraps around. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this face right here and an edge loop right here. And now I have like a nice little loop that I can kind of help exaggerate the nostril from this line that goes down in my cheek, or the character's cheek. So I'm kind of just drawing this around.
No, not you.
The nostril part, up and over, and out. Right. Yeah, what's up?
How did you delete faces while in quad? What's it called? Quad view.
Repeat yourself.
Quad draw.
Quad draw.
Okay. Yeah, how do you delete faces while you're in quad draw?
Yeah, so all you have to do is just hover over. You see how it's right now? It's red. It's like a purple red.
Yeah, I see that.
If you just do backspace, it'll just delete it.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep. So now I'm just kind of just going along like this, so it's just kind of falling along the nostril part, going over. So now I have a few extra edge loops right here, so what I can do is just add some edge loops up the nose. And then kind of start smoothing it out. So you can see that if I really... to go over that again, if we are in quad draw and we have a bunch of like edge loops that are very close together, you can, if you hold down Shift, it will smooth things out. But if you're in soft select and you make it kind of big and hold down Shift, it will smooth in a larger area. So I'm just holding down Shift and left mouse clicking, and it kind of just like averages out just areas in the mesh. So, just to go over, like, the reason why I have it go like this is because I can make this, like, these, like, areas of importance kind of pop. I turned off Make Live, so, like, you can see that, like, if I just select these vertices, you kind of push and pull, like, I can exaggerate that, like, that cheek right here, like it really makes it pop right here. These bags, if I go and add some extra edge loops, and select them, like you can really create like natural shapes because of your proper edge flow instead of like kind of fighting with the geometry. It's already there for you. It's just going to help enhance those details. So for our homework today, I want you guys to complete the entire head. You don't have to do the headdress or any of like the buttons or anything. If you just do the face or do something similar to like what I did, like just kind of like get in the like this vicinity of the head completely done for next week, and put it on Sketchfab. Make sure it's on the low poly export. Don't subdivide it and export it, just so I can look inspect your geometry a little bit better. Once again, please look at these reference images on my Pinterest. It's pinterest.com /Nelson W, like my email's name. And it's in the geometry, so just follow along those edge flows. And one other thing, for next week, we will be starting our self-portrait. So all I want you guys to do is get me a headshot from the front and the back, the side. Sorry, the front and side. I'll show you examples. So something like this. Make sure it's a very even light. And ladies, I would suggest pulling back your hair so you can see as much as your head as possible. Images. And try and take it on a flat background with no shadows like these. We will be cropping the background out to help improve putting it in Photoshop, and putting it in Maya as a reference. So I'll be going over how to do all that next week, but just make sure that you have a front and side view. Try and make sure it's as in line with like the camera's parallel with you as possible, and flat on. If your head's a little skewed, it's going to cause issues. So if you lose the blue geometry, it's mainly because you turned off Make Live on your reference. So you can see that right now I don't have live on, and if I select my mesh and go to modeling toolkits Quadra, it's not blue. So all you have to do is select the mesh, click the magnet to make your object live, and then select your retopologized mesh again and go back to Quadra, and it'll be blue. You don't have to send me pictures of yourself. It's just for yourself for reference. But have the topologized face, left and right side done for next week, and we will review it then. But that's it for today. If you have any questions, I can answer anything. But it should, like, if you're following along with class today, you should. Yes, I'll put it on video after. I'll send out the YouTube link. But if you're following along, you already did probably half of it. It should only take you about like 2 hours the most to do both sides. So if no one has any questions, you're free to go. But I'll stay until the last person's in class. Oh, okay. So how to export it? Sure. If we have our mesh right here, it's all done. Go to File, Export Selection. Then choose where you want to put it. You can put it in the project folder, like scenes or assets. Let's put in scenes for right now. Scenes. And choose either OBJ or FBX face. And then go to Sketchfab. Upload. Upload file. Make it free. Save it. And then publish it.
So are we gonna like do that side too, or just different?
Do both sides. I just did the one half. There is a way to do a symmetry, but for this is like practice. So try and just do it both sides. I think this model isn't completely symmetrical, but if you were doing it symmetrically, you would have symmetry on like the X right here. I think this would work. But you can see that like the object isn't like 100% symmetrical, so it's just a lot easier. Like just for this project, don't do the symmetry, but just do it on both sides by hand.